Hi friends, in the comment of one video, somebody asked how you keep your formatting in your description when you're uploading your listings through a CSV file. And the answer is that you can use HTML right in the description field in your CSV, and actually only in the description field. And then the caveat to that answer is you totally shouldn't do that. And you shouldn't use HTML in your listings that you enter the normal way either, except for a few exceptions, maybe. And the reason is that eBay is seriously discouraging the use of HTML, and for some good reasons. I think there's really no proof that formatting your listings all funky like is going to convince anyone to buy it. In fact, eBay's research indicates that people trust listings that are not full of fancy formatting more. In fact, if you switch to the new listing editor, which I hate, you can see that if you try to go to the HTML view, you get this error message or warning, shall we say, and it says that buyers are more trusting of minimalist formatting and less is more, be consistent, stick to a black 14-point font. So eBay is seriously discouraging this, and I think amongst other things, besides the fact that presumably they've done user testing and it doesn't help people to buy. There's such a heavy mobile user base now, and people don't click twice on the description like you have to do to even see the formatted version. They most of the time don't seem to even read the description on mobile. But what happens on mobile is when you see your listing, it's all stripped of everything, and it just shows you in the standard eBay format that comes with the app. So you're not even seeing your formatting. It gets stripped out unless you do several clicks. So and it might not even look right, because that formatting you've done is not optimized for mobile. But what eBay presents in the stripped version is. So you're better off just letting eBay do its thing and show it how they've user tested it to work. That said, I did want to do a quick tutorial on adding HTML if you want to, or have some compelling reason why you should. I don't know exactly what that would be, but if you want to, this is how you do it. And the code I'm going to show you will work in either the description field of a CSV or in the HTML view of the new or old listing editor. The basic idea is that you have your text that you've written, whatever it is, and then you wrap it in some code to format it. And in this case, this is inline CSS, which is cascading style sheet language, which is used to format HTML. And then, the greater world of websites, it's two separate languages that are linked together in separate files, usually, sometimes. But in this case, we're going to do inline CSS, which means we're going to write HTML and then put CSS right inside it. So we're formatting as we're creating content, if that makes any sense. It doesn't really matter if it doesn't. But what you need to know is that every blob of text you want to format, or every paragraph, needs to go in something called a div. And that's, you do a caret and div and end caret. And then at the end of it, you do caret and a slash and div to close it. So now this some text is enclosed in a div, and that's like a division or blob of whatever content, and it doesn't change anything to put it in a div. As you see, our sum text just looks normal. but we can use this div to apply some styles. And before I go on, I should point out this site, codepen.io, is very handy for testing your code you're writing. You just go to the language you need to test, in this case HTML, and you can type your code on this side and see it appear on this side. So now we'll add our CSS, and you can see over on this side that it's going to change. So what we need is, we want to style our div, so we do div style and then equals, and then we add some open quotes, and this editor will add the closed quote too for you because it's friendly like that. And so if we want to say center align this text, we do text align is the CSS property, and we have to put a colon after that, and then we put the CSS value. So in this case we're going to say center, and we have to put a semicolon after that, and you'll see that it centers the text. Now we can daisy chain more properties and values onto here, or we can just do them one at a time. I'm going to just add some more. If we want to change the color, that's a pretty easy one. You just do color colon, and then you can literally type a color and semicolon, and it should change. So there's a lot of color words you can use in HTML. Just take a guess, you'll probably get one. Any of the sort of normal colors, orange. If you want more than that, just Google hex color, HEX, stands for hexadecimal, and you'll get this on Google, which is a color picker, and you can choose any color you want, and then look down here for the hex code, which is a 6-digit combination of letters and numbers that begins with a hash. Just copy that and come back to your code, and instead of typing orange, you can use this 6-digit thing with a hash, and it will change to that color. There's other ways of doing it too, but between those two, you're pretty good for this this usage. If you want to change the font size, it's going to be font size with a hyphen there, and then colon, and then you can use pixels, so we can say 100 pixels, px, semicolon, and there you go. I don't recommend doing this, but you can. And if you want to change if you want to make it bold, you can do font weight bold, and if you want to use italics, then that's font style colon italic semicolon. So you can see you can pile these up, or you can do them one at a time, and I think those are probably the kinds of things you want to change. You know, there's a zillion others. I mean, think about how complicated the web is visually. It's all done basically like this in some, you know, way. But I can't really imagine any other formatting you'd want for text. You can change the font, but it's pretty risky. Like, there's only certain fonts all computers have, and if you choose one that they don't all have, it's not going to display unless you've set a backup. And why do that for an eBay listing? But these are the web safe fonts, if you care, that supposedly everyone has. I would even stay away from some of them as being not as universal as one might like to think, but like Arial and Georgia probably and Courier are pretty safe. So if you wanted to, I'll just show you. Do font family colon, and then you could say Arial semicolon, and there you go. You can also do Arial, comma, or like we could do some crazy font no one has, like Bodoni, and then comma Arial as the backup. So it's showing us Arial because Bodoni is not installed. That's how that works. Now, if you want to add a picture, you can only use pictures that are actually hosted on eBay. So this is going to be less useful with the CSV method. I've never actually tried it, but I don't think it will work to use externally hosted pictures. However, if you have a picture on eBay already that you want to use for some reason, we don't do this as CSS inline style. You can write just straight HTML to show an image. So we'll do img space src, or image source, and then again equals and a quote, and then you put the URL of the image in here. So in this case, we're going to go to this handy site, Place Kitten, that allows you to place a picture of a kitten anywhere you want of a certain size. Totally not useful but for this application, but good to know. So we'll copy that URL and stick in our Place Kitten, and then we just need to close this, and there's our 200 by 300 pixel kitten. So we change it to 300 by 300. I think we'll get a different one. Yep, there you go. So Place Kitten, good to know about. And finally, if you want to add a link to your eBay listing, you can only add links to pages on eBay and a few other small exceptions. And if you want to know more about this exciting topic, there's an eBay links policy page in the help that you can search up. And there's a few things you can link to, and it shows you where videos have to be hosted on these things, and you can link to these freight and shipping services, and that's kind of it, or legally required information. But if you need to know any gory details about that, that's where it is. But to make a link, so you would find whatever page, be it your store or a category of your store or a particular listing, and you just copy the URL of it from the browser bar. So copy, and then to create a link, we just use HTML, and it goes like this. Open the caret, do A, which stands for a link, and then href, which is the hyperlink reference, and then equals, and then quotes, and then you put the URL in. So we'll just do ebay.com and close that, and then put the word you want the link to be on, and then close that by doing /a. And now we have our link. It's not going to work in CodePen, I don't think, but we'll see. Yeah, it doesn't work from CodePen, but that's how you create a link. And again, it has to be a page on eBay. You can also, if you wanted it to open on a separate browser tab or page, you could do target equals underscore target equals underscore blank, and then it will open on a separate page and not be found. But you might want to do that if you don't want to take people away from your listing, but you do want them to look at another page. And that's about all I can think of for things you might want to put in the eBay listing, even though I don't recommend that you do. I know it's a kind of weird video to do, but because someone asked, and because you might want to know how to do some basic HTML and styling, this is pretty universal. This should work other places besides eBay. So let me know if you have other questions about writing, basic HTML and CSS code for whatever reason. I'm happy to go through it. And again, this site, codepen.io, is really handy for testing your stuff and making sure it works before you use it in production. And that's about it. Hope this was helpful in some way, maybe as a negative example. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and thank you, and take care.